Testing now. Can you guys hear me? I mentioned I had a little audio trouble when I first came in as well. And then it looks like it went out again. So you guys can let me know if you can hear me out there. Deepak, I appreciate you typing that in there and letting me know. Somebody can pop in the comments there. And I'll just quickly, just in case we missed a lot or maybe all of that. Okay, I see a couple of people out there now. We've got the audio in. So apologize for that. Starting off the top, a little bit of an audio issue. To summarize, you've been watching my mouth move, my hands move. What has this guy been talking about? Well, obviously, it's time for Market Monday. And today, one of the things I want to talk about is coming off of our series of what I wish I knew before I started trading. What is something that is absolutely essential that I've learned since after starting trading? And I was describing, literally, you may have seen me, I opened this big door that's right beside me here in this old studio that I'm in. It's a massive door. It's like 10, 11 feet tall. It's a big, heavy door, but it's hung on very small hinges. Small hinges open big doors. We don't always need to do something massive, monumental, overhauling. Listen, if you've ever listened to my teaching on the keys to breakthrough, you know I'm all about the massive things. I'm all about, Jesus tells us this principle. Hey, if your eye causes you to sin, if your hand causes you to sin, you ought to just go ahead and pluck it out. You ought to just cut it off, right? I didn't say that. He did, right? You ought to just do whatever you need to do to get it right, right? And if we're looking at financial breakthrough, what do we need to do? It may have been a massive shift for you to say, you know what? I'm going to start trading. I'm going to learn this skill set. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to go halfway. I'm making some changes. And I know that if I make changes, I can make changes, right? If nothing changes, nothing changes. But what I want to encourage you with today, it doesn't always have to be massive. It doesn't always have to be so intense, right? I can be really intense about anything, but it doesn't always have to be such a big thing. And today I want to give you one of those things, right? It's big in how important it is, right? The hinges on this door, that's pretty important. It's not small in that sense. It's functionality, its impact, its ease, right, is massive, but it's not that big of a thing, right? And what do I mean when this comes to our trading? Well, here's one of the things. I'm going to tell you something today that I think is a hinge for the door in your financial life. You want to open a new door? You want to open a big door? I'm going to give you some hinges today, okay? Now, the problem with hinges is that they are so small that you might not think they're that important, right? When it comes to trading, we're like, oh, man, what I'm going to talk about today, you'd be like, okay, maybe. But you know what I really want to learn about? I want to talk about Amazon. I want to look at candlesticks, man. I want to look at return on investment percentages, and I want to talk stacking options and doing complex spreads. And I love all that stuff, right? I'm poking fun a little bit, right? I'm poking fun at myself. That's what I'm like. But in your trading, right, we talked about this the last few weeks. The goal of your trading is what? Profit. The goal of your trading is profit. We want consistently profitable traders. But our role of the trader is to manage risk, right? Is to run their trading business well. We're teaching you how to trade. But if somebody out there on YouTube, right? We're on YouTube with friends right now, Facebook, they just tell you, hey, you can just do this, and you can just do that, and you can just do this, and you can just do that. And they don't actually show you how to implement it, how to build a business, how to control your emotions, how to walk through it, how to find good trades, how to implement it. They're not really teaching you how to trade, right? They're teaching you how to open a brokerage account and put some money at risk, but they're not necessarily teaching you how to trade. And what I want to help show you today is one of the things that's essential for you to move forward in your trading. I'm going to get to what that is, but I can tell you right now, if you stay with me in that mental picture, there's a big door which we want to open. I want to open, you want to open. It's the next level of breakthrough in your trading. The goal is profit. Whatever that level is for you, that's my goal for you, right? You get to define that. I have my own. But we need to do the hinge work. And that today is what we're going to talk about. First, I just want to say thank you to everybody who chimed in. Thank you, Deepak, for letting me know that, again, my audio was not on. Corvus, Jeffrey, thank you. I see you're in 2 spots. Yes, Jeffrey's joining us. Jeffrey says, Blair wants you to win. I do. I honestly really do. I really do. I want you to win. I want you to win in your faith. I want you to win at life. I want you to win in whatever it is God has called you to do. I don't know what that is. I want you to win. I want you to win in your trading. I want you to win in your finances. I talked to a very good friend of mine. I won't mention their name, but I'm going to say this. This isn't in my notes. I want to say this. This is probably going to speak to somebody today. He said to me, Blair, when I look at my wife and I know she just doesn't have to worry about provision, but she doesn't have to worry about money. These people love God. They don't love money. They don't serve money. They serve people, and they've done that, right? They've done that day in and day out for as long as I've known them. He said when she doesn't have to worry about that, she's a completely different person, right? She's never, I know this person very well. She's not put money at the top of the list. That's not why. It takes a load off. It just takes a load off. It just frees people to be able to just lean in and do the work. And God calls us to not have to worry about that anyway, right? I'm not saying that we have to worry if we don't have everything we want to have. But I am saying we're not just talking about trading here, are we? All right, for the homes, for the families, for the fathers, for the mothers, for the brothers, the sisters, the friends being represented here on this channel today on Facebook and YouTube, and those watching by recording. At Tradeway, we aren't just teaching trading. Now we are, and I just told you, there's a process to learning to be a trader, not just technical information on how to go out and put some options trades on. Right? There's a lot more to it than that. But at Tradeway, one of the things that we do that other people don't do, and I'm not saying they're bad, I'm saying we do something different. And what we do is say we have a why. It's intrinsic. It's in our lives. The book of Ecclesiastes says that eternity is knitted, it's placed by God into the hearts of men, of people. We have an eternal existence. We have an earthly purpose, and we exist to help you trade and empower the purpose that you have. That's what I want. Jeffrey says, Blair wants you to win. I'm putting it on the screen. That's why. That's why. That's why I want you to win. That's what I want you to win at. There is a scripture in Isaiah, I believe it's chapter 43, and it speaks of the Messiah, and it says that the will of the Lord will prosper in his hand. That's the prayer over the Messiah, that the will of the Father would prosper in the Son's hand. Well, it's Christ in you, the hope of glory. It's no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. And the life I now live, I live by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. What am I saying? He's alive in me. He's alive in you. May the will of the Lord prosper in your life. You say, Blair, I don't know if that only means money. It doesn't. It doesn't only mean money, right? But provision is in the cross. Some of you disagree. That's okay. That's okay. Right? I'm not promising you checks of millions of dollars. Right? What I'm promising you is some hinges that are going to help you open big doors. Right? That's what I'm saying. This thing can help you clarify and move forward in your trading. Blair, what are you talking about? About to get there. Right? But why? Why? Because finances matter. Finances matter. If you didn't think so, you wouldn't be here. I know I don't have to convince you of that, right? You don't have to convince me, but it's worth coming back to home base once in a while, isn't it? Isn't it? So, one thing every successful trader does, this is the hinge. If they do it, and if they all do it, then why wouldn't we do it? Well, the only reason I could think that we wouldn't do it, maybe it's twofold. One, I'm not humble, I'm not teachable, I'm not ready. And I'm saying that because I've been there. What I'm going to show you today, I've been there. I just didn't want to do it. It was small, so I thought it was insignificant. See, hinges are small but they're not insignificant, right? I hardly ever, I'm turning to this door. Anytime I open a door, when's the last time you opened a big door? Even, your overhead door in your garage. When's the last time you opened a door and you went, oh man, Lord Jesus, I'm just so thankful for those hinges. I'm just so thankful for the track. I'm so thankful for the motor that's up by the ceiling that's opening the door. How often do we really think about that? We don't think about that. It's just the function of it. It opens and we're happy. Drive the car in, step through the doorway, done, right? We don't think about the hinges, but they're pretty darn important. You can't get through the door if it's closed unless you have those hinges. Same thing with a lock, right? We need to have keys to unlock things, right? So even though they're small, it doesn't mean they're insignificant, and we need to get that. Jeffrey says, only when they're busted, right? The hinges, when they're busted. That's the only time we really notice. We're like, hey, that really small thing that I didn't think of in the last year and a half, actually, that's just arrested my life now because my garage door does not open. Or whatever door in my house, literally it's broken, it squeaks, it's stuck, it's whatever, right? Suddenly small things become pretty big. Well, in our trading, we need to recognize that too. And that's why I say every successful trader that I know, right, that I've seen, some I haven't even met, I've watched a lot of their stuff, I've learned from them. Many I have met, okay? Even in my own process, moving forward and recognizing, whoa, this really is important. This isn't just secondhand, right? This is really important stuff. And they all do it. We ought to do it too, right? And if something's broken, well, we know what to focus on, Jeffrey, and we can fix it, okay? They all do this, okay? They all do this. I'm going to tell you what it is right now. We've talked about this a little on here before. Ken says, good evening. Good evening to you, to you too, Ken. It's a little bit of tongue twister there. They treat their trading like a business. I'm going to say it right there. Now I'm going to dive into some specifics today, right? We're not going to talk general, but they treat their trading like a business because it is. It is a business. If we want hobby results, then we have hobby input, hobby output, hobby input. Nothing wrong with hobbies. Nothing wrong with hobbies. The only time that I have a problem with a hobby in my life is when it is a hobby on the input, but I'm expecting business on the output. Are you with me? I'm putting hobby input into my trading, expecting business output, right? I want to pay some bills. I want to make a living. I want to protect my retirement. I want to have a bigger rainy day fund. I want to outpace inflation, which is at a 40-year high right now. We have forecasts of what? Of an economic recession. We don't know for sure, but we're hearing it more and more and more, right? It's happening in the housing market. I'm not saying the housing market's in a recession right now. I'm saying we're seeing slowdown. Why? Because interest rates are rising. We've talked about that tons here on Market Monday. But today, right, I have to know that whatever the goal is that I'm trying to do, I'm moving to greater financial independence. It's a pretty darn good goal to have. Ken commented here at the bottom, right? Hobby input doesn't equal business output. Anywhere here at Tradeway, we don't have the right input, we don't get the right output. And when we don't get the right output, that doesn't help you, right? So we have to pay attention. Well, it's true in our trading as well, right? So where do we have hobby input? If we have hobby input, we're going to have to be okay with hobby output. And hobby input in trading, right, is, I'll just go over some quick things because I want to define for you more what the business is going to look like than what it looks like when it's not there. But just to say quickly, hobby input is a little willy-nilly. It's like, I'll take a trade whenever. Today I'm going to try a stock trade. Let me try a couple put trades. I'll put $5,000 into this one. I'll put $850 into that one. I don't track my trades. I don't know what they did. I know I made a little money. I know I lost a little money. I'm buying and selling here and there. Maybe I'm making some money, right? Maybe I'm not. Either way, I'm just kind of floating down the river. What happens, happens. I don't have a plan, okay? And I'm not really getting out of it what I want unless sometimes I'll hear this, right? Sometimes people will tell me, yeah, Blair, I got a few $1,000 in a trading account. I'm just kind of playing. And I say, okay, great, right? You're getting in the market. You've got some expendable cash and you're having an enjoyable time, I guess, in the market. Jeffrey knows this well. A bunch of you guys do. Trading's never what, and what, right? If you've been on here long enough, you know exactly what I'm about to say. Some of you might roll your eyes when I say it because I say it every time, right? Guessing, gambling, or going for it. Trading is never guessing, gambling, or just going for it. That's what we do in Vegas, right? That's what that's for. Well, my money doesn't go to Vegas, right? And I don't want to put it in the stock market like that, but that doesn't mean someone else can't, right? You can. No judgment from me. If you want to play in the stock market, that's fine. But your results are going to be reflective of that, right? They're going to be reflective of that. They're going to be random, probably not sustainable. There's no edge, right? Unless you are actually trading, right? So hobby. One of the first things we've got to do, treat our stock trading like a business. Identify, do I have hobby input expecting business output? That would be a great thing to diagnose right off the bat tonight. If you're an active trader, great question to ask yourself tonight. Write down the answer, right? Go ahead, send it in the chat if you want, right? For those of you who maybe aren't trading yet and you're hearing this and you're going, where are the candlesticks, right? Where are the patterns? I want to talk about Amazon. Tell me about the hot stock. I've been posting them on our community pages in the Tradeway community pages. It's our internal system that we go back and forth with our students. Market's really back and forth right now. What do you do as a stock trader? Well, one of the most logical things we have to do, we have to look for stocks. We have to look for industries that are just outperforming. They're just doing really, really well. They're very, very consistent, right? So we do that. We do a lot of that. But this is really important. This may not be the big door, but man, it's the hinges and they're so important. Trading to have business output, it needs business input. So stands to say, what is business input? All right. Jeffrey's saying, speaking of slowdowns, I'm seeing trains double stacked with shipping containers, which I've not seen before. Jeffrey's joining us from Colorado Springs, and they're storing the containers in open lots. Not good for supply chain. I mean, unfortunately, we do. We have a lot of economic challenges right now. This is where Blair's trying to say something political, and he's deciding not to say that. I don't think any one person or group is to blame, but there's a lot of challenges out there. And I'm not convinced that they're being approached as aggressively and as effectively as they could. And that's unfortunate because it's really going to affect a lot of Americans. And honestly, it's going to affect probably the most. It's going to affect Americans who don't understand finance, that don't understand business, that don't understand that there's a whole lot more opportunity in the United States than just working for another corporation 9 to 5. Not that there's anything wrong with that, by the way. Not at all. In fact, a lot of people do really well doing that exact thing. But again, I think it's those people that stand to get really hurt. So it's something that I really want to see avoid. And it brings me back to why I bring passion to these broadcasts that I do and why I bring passion to my own finances, trading door that I want to open, right? Because these things matter. They're important. So thank you for sharing that, Jeffrey. So what does it mean? Okay, what does it mean to have your trading look like a business? I actually had a student reach out to me today and say, Blair, I've heard you talk about this trading as a business. Lots of the Tradeway coaches talk about this. But what do you really mean by that? Like, what does it mean to treat your trading like a business specifically? Some of us are not business owners. Some of us haven't had a lot of experience in business. Ding, ding, ding. That would be Mr. Nightingale over here, right? That's not my background. I've had to learn, right? I didn't know that. Some of you guys do and have, right? And those of you who don't, you can and you will if you want to, right? And I'm going to give you some of that right now, okay? Here's the first thing I would say. I told you that the role of a trader, the role of a trader is to manage the risk in your trading, right? But the goal of the trader is to make profit. And that is the simplest thing that I'm going to say about treating your trading like a business. It's not willy-nilly. It's not floating down the river. It's a for-profit enterprise first. That doesn't mean that your life, the values, the priorities of everything that you are and do have to be all about money. I'm not saying that. But I am saying your trading is about making money. If your trading is about playing, and I don't mean that in a rude or condescending way, I've done this. But if it's about just kind of having fun, what Dr. Alexander Elder used to call getting high in the markets, trading can be emotional, right? That emotional stimulation can be fun in the stock market. It can be, right? If we're just doing that, right? Playing, gambling, getting high, as Alexander Elder said, and so on, right? That's not a business, right? That's a hobby. That's a game, right? That's a casino. That's not a business. A business is for profit. A business is for profit. And once that priority of the business is established, I'm not doing this to do this, right? I spoke to another student some time ago who said, you know, as I've gone on in my trading, I've realized that even though in the beginning my why was profit, as I've gotten into trading, I find myself, I'm just trading. And I've disconnected from the fact that trading is about making money, right? We're going to take expenses. We're going to take losses. We have to navigate that. That's part of the skill set, right? But it's for profit. It's a for-profit business. So once that priority is established and reestablished, we usually start there. And as we learn, we can wander away from that a bit. But as we reestablish and establish that priority, it helps us know there's a couple of things we got to do, okay? We got to have a business plan. If it's a for-profit business, it stands to reason I ought to have a way to make a profit, right? I ought to have a business plan. If you want to learn to trade, that's one of the things we want to impart to you. Again, this isn't about just going out, searching random stock or options videos on YouTube, right? And learning how to go in there and buy and sell an option. It's about learning how to have a plan that you can use over time. It's about developing yourself as a business owner so you can be an effective CEO of your trading business over time, even if you've never thought of yourself as either of those things, a business owner or a business leader, because you are the owner and leader of your own life. You're the CEO of Last Name Incorporated in your life. Doesn't mean you have to be all about money. Doesn't mean you have to reflect the values of the world, right? You don't. But you get to be in charge and responsible for whatever it is that God has put in your care. You get to be the CEO of those resources. And when it comes to your trading, you get to take on that role there as well. And so do I. So we got to have a business plan, right? How am I going to learn? How am I going to grow? How am I going to ask questions? How am I going to implement? Okay. How am I going to track what I'm doing? Track my progress, right? This is something I've started taking a lot more seriously. How are you going to track your progress, right? If you've done 5 trades, 10 trades, 20 trades, here's some questions I would ask. Are they written down anywhere, right? Do you keep them up to date? Do you understand what the data tells you? What do I mean by that? Okay. I looked back on a strategy that I've been doing. I tracked it, tracked every one of them that I've done. And when I look back at the data, I had some eureka moments. Okay. I can't go into too much details about things like that, except to say, and that's not a sneaky way of saying anything. I literally am looking at this and I'm going, oh, there's some obvious things that I could adjust here that would have a tremendous impact. And I would never have known that if I hadn't had clear data right in front of me. Here, let me ask you this. What did you eat for breakfast on March 3rd? That seems like a weird question to ask. What do you mean? Well, you ate it, you did it, it happened, it was important. It's a good thing you ate that day, right? It nourished you, it helped you, but you probably don't remember what it was. Well, in the course of business, over the course of time, you may go out, you may place trades, right? In the beginning, we're doing very spaced out activity, but we're going to place trades and it may be just gone. You open it, you close it, you start a new one. Well, what about that? Was that profitable? Did that work? What did I learn from that? If I made money, can I learn something? If I had an expense, can I learn something? How's the strategy doing over time? Am I getting ahead on a few trades and then giving back a lot? I've mentioned on this channel multiple times, I was helping a student once. He said, Blair, I don't think I'm doing very well. I'm not a very good trader. We looked at his trades, and you know what we found? We found that he's actually in trades, and his stop outs, if he would, right, and this is a little brain twister, but if half of his stop outs were 50% better, meaning he did what he said he would do 50% more of the time on his losses alone, he'd have been net positive in his trading. Wait. What did you just say? You're saying he thought he was a bad trader, but he was actually making money on trades, but losing more money than he was making. And if he would adjusted his stop outs and improved acting on them by 50%, half of them, make half of them half better, it would be a game changer. That's exactly what we found. How? We looked at the data. We looked at the data. We knew here at Tradeway, right? We can't just run around and just do a bunch of stuff. We have to know what we're trying to accomplish and whether or not the stuff that we're doing is accomplishing the things that matter most. We can't do that if we don't stop, slow down, track what's happening, and measure what's coming out. Business input, business output, right? I'm putting my hard-earned dollars in there. I want to be getting some easier earned dollars out. And if that's not happening, then I need to make changes. And I want to know as soon as it's not happening, not just trade to trade. I want to look at a whole set, right? That's huge, huge. Small hinge, guys. I told you on here many times. I trained with a former Mr. Olympia last year. Hardcore. I mean, these guys are world champions, you know. They understand, right? Who else would you want to learn from? And he didn't have me change these massive things. He had me change very small things and do them consistently and diligently and strictly. And wow, I can't tell you what a difference they made. That was physically. That's health. That's a pretty good investment. I'd say that's a pretty good priority. That's my opinion. This is our financial investment, our financial health. And I'm giving you some small hinges here, some small changes. They require a little bit more effort. They require a little bit more discipline because they maybe aren't habits, right? But once we lean into them long enough to start to feel the benefits of the hinge, we'll never want to have a door without hinges again. Seems weird when I say it that way, right? But we do that in our trading all the time, because it's not as exciting. It's not as emotional, right? Now, the really highly analytical types, this is probably something you've been doing from the very beginning anyway, right? Probably something you've been doing from the beginning anyway. But for those of us who aren't more inclined to that, you've got to have tracking, you've got to have data, and you've got to have a business plan. Business plan for us is a trading plan. It's a trading plan, right? What's the trading plan? What strategies am I going to trade, right? If I'm doing this strategy over here, okay, and I'm risking X amount of dollars in every trade, and I get 2-to-1 risk return, and I stop out at this amount, and I'm going to do 20 of those trades and get ahead over time. And then I go over here and I do one trade on Amazon, which is $3,400 a share, and my stop out is massive and it's just kind of a one-off thing that I just decided to do, and I take a huge stop out, then this thing that really wasn't part of the plan just offset all the work I did over here. Right? That doesn't work. I got to strategize. I got to plan that out. I got to know, this is what we call money management. Right? If I'm risking trades, I'm going to do 50 trades over the course of maybe the year or a year and a half or whatever it is over time. Right? And I'm looking to make 5%, 20%, right, on a trade over time. And I'm going to take some stop outs. But I've done the math. I've looked at it, and I'm going to go, and this is something, by the way, we help you do in the workshops, in our programs. I'm going to get ahead. But then I go and I take some one-off trades, and they blow up on me, and I was willy-nilly down the river. And now I'm underwater, and I didn't have to be. I didn't have to be underwater. And I could come to the damaging conclusion that trading doesn't work, or that I'm not any good at it, or it's not worth it. And actually, you were really, really close. You were really close. But then this piece wasn't on the table, right? One of the hinges fell off and the door stopped working. And you just decided, I guess I'm not going to go in there. Even though what's in there is exactly what you and I are looking for, right? Certainly that's the potential of what we're doing. The second thing I'm going to say, right? I said a lot of things there under the heading of we have to have a profit business, has to have a plan, has to have tracking, right? We need to have that. We need to make adjustments. I mentioned that, right? That's what the data helps us do. By the way, this isn't in my notes today. It helps us celebrate. When we look back and we see that we're making progress, right? Even if your progress is, man, I used to just take these big stop outs, and now I'm consistently stopping out my trades when they don't work. It's a super important. That is a hinge in and of itself. Trust me, in trading. All right, that's one of the most important lessons you can learn. That's a praise. That's moving forward. That's fundamental growth. Right? Tracking helps you know what's going right. It helps you know the truth. And the truth can really be encouraging. Okay? The second thing I'll say is that your skills in your stock trading business, your capital in your stock trading business, right? Your skills are your product. Your skills are your product. You are the product in your trading. It's you and it's your dollars. And no one has control of your dollars in your trading account except for you. Now, there's long-term money, and that's another conversation. But in your trading account, you're the CEO. You have control of those. Your skills are the product. So make your skills the best they can possibly be. Right? As a business owner, as a musician, as an investor, as a trader, as a believer, for me, and that which God has given me stewardship over, I am constantly looking to find ways to invest in myself, not because I'm inherently egotistical and selfish, but because I am the one who has to manage, lead, steward, make decisions over, put energy into all of those things. And the better energy, and please understand me when I say energy, Paul says in the Bible, with his energy, which so powerfully works within me. So I mean Holy Spirit energy. I need energy to pour into those things, and I don't have it if it doesn't pour into me, because energy is not had. I don't have any energy today. Man, I have energy today. No, you created energy today. You have energy because you created it. It's generated. Energy is generated. You sleep, you eat, right? We need emotional energy. We need physical energy. We got to generate it. We need energy for our stock trading business. We got to generate it. It's got to transfer from one place into us. I hope that's happening for you today, right? I hope that's happening for you today. Jeffrey said it. I want you to win. Hopefully some of this energy can transfer to you. Okay. In your trading, your skills are your product, and your product should get better and better and better and better. And that means you as a trader, you need to be poured into, and you need to be poured into more and more and more and more and more. You need to track, right? You need to adjust. You do everything we said in point number 1, but you got to keep getting better at it. 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 I was at the gym today. I'm looking up at the screens. Man, they got like 17 screens in the gym, and honestly, I just wish they'd turn them all off. I wish they'd just turn them all off, because they've just got partisan news, junky celebrity, this and that. It's just, in so many ways, it's just trash. It's a waste of my time. It's a waste of the space in my head. It doesn't connect me with the anointing. It doesn't connect me with the word of God. It doesn't get me closer to my goals. I'm in entertainment, by the way. I don't have an issue with entertainment. This isn't my rally against all entertainment, right? I'm okay with that. This isn't my fundamentalist rant, right? I don't mean to be offensive there either. It's not that. But it's not worthy. It's not worthy, right? My friend turning to his wife and saying, man, when she doesn't have to worry about finances, she's a completely different person. This weight comes off her and she just blossoms. And it's not because she doesn't know how to be frugal, doesn't know how to be simple, faithful, loving, all these amazing characteristics. But the reality is like when he is connected to that part of his mission, she flourishes, and that is what matters. That is what matters, and it looks different for you. You have your own thing, right? And if you came on here today and you were hoping to find out what a credit spread was and an iron condor, and now this guy's ranting and raving at the screen, you're probably not going to be a huge fan of Market Monday, and I don't do this every week. I don't, but I'm telling you, that kind of stuff, man, I was watching and I thought, you know what? I don't want to be connected to that. I want to be connected to what matters, right? I want to do the things that matter, that move me forward. I want to generate the right energy instead of giving it away and leaking and bleeding it out to the world that just doesn't have the right priorities in so many cases. Jeffrey says, you got to blindfold yourself like Karate Kid at the gym. You'll get weird looks, but you won't know. You won't know. That's right. You'll have no idea what's going on. Yeah, that would be a little bit hazardous for me, I think. So you're the product, and that's the landing place of everything I just said. You're the product. You're the product. Be the best. I'm not saying you're just a product, but I'm saying in your trading, investing in you is investing in your company, because you're the CEO. You're the product. Be the best you can possibly be. It'll take time, but if you do small things consistently over time, you're going to open some big doors. And that's what somebody out there needs to hear today. I know that. Okay? Never stop growing. Never stop learning. Okay? I'm going to give you the third rule that I have for you today: treating your trading like a business. Okay? And it's this. And it's the first rule of business. It's the first rule of business. Follow the money. Follow the money. I watched a documentary of a famous music manager. He said, I have 3 rules. He's one of the most successful music managers in history. In fact, he is the most successful music manager in history. And he says, I have 3 rules. 1, never forget to get the money. Right? Get the money is number 1. Number 2, never forget to get the money. Number 3, always remember to never forget to always get the money. Blair, are you saying money is the most important thing in life? No. Are you saying that money should come before everything in my life? No. I'm saying in your stock trading business, right? Don't forget this rule. Follow the money. Jeffrey, one of our coaches here at Tradeway, says this all the time. Do less of what isn't working and do more of what is working. Why? Because it's making you money. And that's the point. Oh, but Blair, I really like debit spreads. I really want to do debit spreads. Are you making money doing the debit spreads? Right? Now, I would say you can still grow in that, right? I want you to. We can adjust that. We can move you forward there. But you are your own person. You have your own personality. This is what we help you do in the program. It doesn't happen on YouTube. What kind of trader are you? What kind of fear do you have? Anxiety do you have? I was thinking about this earlier. I am typically, over the course of my life, I'm just telling you guys, I don't mind saying this on the internet. I can be anxious. I can be anxious. That affects my trading. It changes the way I trade in some ways. Now, I want to lower that, and I have a whole course that teaches students how to do that. But I still have to be me. So I'm going to trade certain things more than Jeffrey is. Jeffrey might trade differently than me. Okay? You are going to trade different than Jeffrey. You're going to trade different than me. We need to help you discover what that looks like for you. That's one of the most important things that we can do for you. Okay? But you got to do less of what isn't working and more of what is. It's okay to just say, you know what? When I do this, I make money. When I do this, I don't make money. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to still grow at that. I'm going to still practice that. I'm going to still do small money and learn, but this is what could pay my phone bill this month, right? This is what could pay my car payment. This is how I might pay my mortgage. This is how I might build that account. Follow the money, right? Remember to get the money. Never forget to get the money. Always remember to never forget to always get the money. That's what he said. Business. Right? Remember, I didn't say love money. I said in your trading business, that's what it's for. Now, God is going to shape your mind and shape your heart. Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. I tell people at our live events all the time, there is a process of personal growth for so many of us when we learn to trade. And that's part of what I think the Lord wants to do through trading for so many people. And we just see it around Tradeway all the time. Because God doesn't just want us to do something for him. He wants us to do something with him. And when he's doing something with us, he's going to do something in us. And in that sense, you say, well, in that way, is it always about the money? No, it's not always about the money, but I still am not going to lose sight. In fact, I think that's partially why sometimes we do lose sight of the fact that we want to get there. I want you to be blessed in your trading. I want that for me. I want that for you. Right? Jeffrey says, I heard the rules were location, location, location. Well, here's what I'm going to say about that, Jeffrey. Location, location, location probably used to be a much bigger deal than it is today. Because internet has changed everything. I was thinking about the fact I'm a musician. I've been in the industry for a long time. I was out of it for a long time when I got saved and pursuing Jesus, and I've gotten back into it. But you know what's changed? I don't need location anymore. I lived in Los Angeles, and now I don't. And you know what I found? I don't need to be there because the internet's opened everything up. And as an investor, as a trader, this is one of the simplest businesses you could ever possibly open because it's as simple as opening up your laptop in the morning and training, right? When I won't rabbit trail too much with that. There are businesses that you can run in your life now that you used to have to be here, do that, even at Tradeway. Little old town in East Texas, Corsicana. If people were going to help at Tradeway, they had to move to Corsicana, Texas, which is kind of in the middle of nowhere, East Texas. It doesn't work that way anymore. Now, COVID changed a lot of that too. And our courses, you guys learn from us. We used to do everything in person. We don't do that anymore. All right. We have some that we do live for introductory, but we do everything else online. And it's more convenient for us to get to you quicker, easier. It's less expensive, right? Those costs always get passed on to consumers, and we don't have to do that because it's online. You and I are together tonight on a Monday night. It's very easy. We would have never been able to do this before. So follow the money. That's the first rule of business in your trading. Do more of what's working. Do less of what's not working. That's the most simple way I can practically put that into words for you. So we've had one major hinge tonight, haven't we? right? Treat it like a business. Hobby input, hobby output. Business input, business output. Blair, it takes a little bit more effort to do business input, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Right? But since the first rule of our business is that it's for profit, and that's actually what we want, that's the shift that we have to make. That's the shift that we have to make. And we can track our trades. We have data to make adjustments and encourage, right? Encourage ourselves to know where we're at. We got to know what we've done to know where we're at. We got to know where we're at to know what we need to do to get where we want to go. Okay? We have to have that data. You are the product. You are the CEO. You are the manager. We want to pour into you, help you make you the best CEO, the best manager you can possibly be. You don't have energy, you generate it. You don't have skills, you learn them. You get them. Right? And if we're going to do this, we understand, first rule, follow the money. Follow the money. What's working, what's not working. Do more of what's working. All right, guys? Appreciate you. We went a little longer tonight. It's good stuff. Hopefully, this has been encouraging. Joseph saying, are you coming to Minnesota anytime soon? Right? Tradeway doesn't have any plans to be in Minnesota at this time. They are talking a little bit more about how we're going to approach some live event stuff in the future. So we'll see how that shapes up, and I'll make announcements as the year progresses right here on Market Monday. I'll be happy to let you guys know. Ken's closing us out tonight saying, this validates what you've been saying, right? In all toil, there is profit, but mere talk lends only to poverty. That's actually a proverb, Ken, that I used to have on a sticky note on my laptop. It was a different laptop at the time, but it was right there. Right? It was right on my laptop. And that's been one of my trading verses. And I'll tell you why. I said that we're going to close with this. I'm going to tell you why. Because I've struggled with this so much. Right? I just wanted it to just come without having to do any of that. I wasn't a business owner. I didn't understand that. That's why I said I learned this from other people. And I, of course, had to make the choice to implement it in my own life. Right? And that verse is part of what helped me start to go, oh, okay, I think I'm off. Lord, I need you to do something in me so that thing that's not there, which is what Ken said in Proverbs 14:23, I need you to put that in me. He works and wills in me to do his good pleasure. That's the prayer that I've prayed over my trading many times. Lord, work and will in me to do your good pleasure. He doesn't just want to do something with me, for me for him. He wants to do something with me. If he does something with me, he wants to do something in me. Proverbs 14:23. There you go. All right, guys. Appreciate you. Thanks so much for being on tonight. We will see you next Monday. Good night.